Alors pour la clôture de...
Well, to close this PERIMAT 2024 edition, let's take an overlook, horizon scanning of the market with the main players. So around me on stage I have Mathieu DAUBIN. Hello Mathieu, chairman of COMAT, as we now know, representing insurers. Next to you we've got Pierre DELEPLANQUE. Hello Pierre, vice chair of PLANETE CSCA UCAMAT. Your maritime brokers? Yes. Pascal DUBOIS. A bit stressed out, aren't you? Absolutely. CEO of CESAM, the big organizer of this event. A big round of applause now or later? Later. So you are the market organization. You have Antoine LUQUIAU representing maritime agents, and Jean-Christophe Martin is representing adjusters. So all around this table we're here for a final analysis. You're all professionals. You're very careful about your stakeholders, and stakeholders have been here for 48 hours, and they are looking forward to a concise presentation. Now, they're expecting a lot of things, but in just a couple of minutes, if we were to take stock of the past year, if you look at what was achieved by everybody, what would you say? I'll start with Pascal, because in fact, Pascal, there are already a lot of people on stage. That's the first thing we could say. Thank you, Cécile. Yes, the strong idea for CESAM is what we've been developing for 3.5 years that I became CEO of CESAM. We want CESAM to be a real forum for transport insurance. That's what we do with these days, to bring together all ecosystem players so that they can work and collaborate better together. 3 issues. One about training. You saw that CESAM has become a training organization. This training is a runaway success. It's exceptional and exponential. Something about the adjuster and surveyor network. We've updated instructions that dated back to 34 years ago, so we are overhauling the structure of the network, and we're finalizing a new website for CESAM that I'll tell you more about, but later. Mathieu, what about this year? Well, a growing market, very dynamic, 2.36 billion euros. We are very proud of that. In spite of multiple crises, and we could explain them at length, I thought it was very interesting. We need to overcome these crises, and we were able to. Marine aviation transport, MAT insurers were always able to adapt to the economy and the underlying factors. I'm really confident about the future, and I'll focus on our duty to provide for free travel of free flow of vessels and cargo around the world. That's our purpose. So that's my view of 2024. Pierre, brokers are privileged observers of the market, and from where we are, what we've been observing in the past year is a change in the market. I don't want to be radical, well, but the figures prove that most of the legacy players want to conquer new markets, and the newcomers are growing. That's the first phenomenon that is obvious. And the second phenomenon, which is nothing new, in the previous workshop they talked about it at length, there is the need to handle more and more data to become more professional and increase the added value in risk transfer to insurers. These are the 2 major shifts that we've gone through in the last 12 months. Antoine, well, underwriting agents working with companies on the French market, we're very happy that we're still around. We may not be the oldest trade in the world, but at least in marine and transport insurance, we're the oldest trade, and we're still modernizing our tools and procedures in line with the regulations that we all are aware of. We've worked a bit on the substance with some of our companies, our clients, on mandates that some of us have changed. We are trying to uphold our values, which are a close relationship, speciality, and sometimes some stability, maybe some inertia because of our shared history, which is often very old and different. We're happy to see our organizations change. Some have seen their governance change. Very often we are in all over the French territory, and we're happy to see that we don't have too many difficulties attracting young talents and sometimes experienced talents that we are happy to welcome in what we do. Jean-Christophe? Well, adjusters, that was an independent business for a very long time by independent traders. In the last few years, people have become more professionalized with group structures that have been growing fairly quickly, with regulatory requirements, compliance requirements, business continuity plans, cyber risk responses, and response to demand. There's been another acceleration that we've seen in 2023-24. The big companies in damage insurance have taken a look at what we do in transport insurance, so a multitude of players that are just as efficient as one another, making the market more dynamic, and so our adjusters are a bit more skilled and more competitive. Another thing, since we're seeing the need for more expertise, we need more and more resources, and so we are very proud to see that this job that used to be very male is now being exercised by more and more women. I won't comment on the female representation on the panel. There was only one woman when I started. Now there are 20 to 25% of adjusters who are women. And honestly, that's really nice. If you look to 2025, well, 2025, I know that it's a bit difficult to make projections because, in fact, we're tracking the changes in insurance market flows, how risks are going to go, what the expectations are, but we depend on also the way the deductibles increase. If there are more deductibles, the request for adjustment may go down. Lower frequency in terms of adjustment and survey missions, and the previous roundtable showed us that we could have fewer losses but more intense ones, and so you'll need people who will be extremely effective and skilled to address these demands. What we've been seeing also is that since the COVID crisis in our sector, we've been having remote assessment and adjustment that wasn't really done by us, but in damage insurance, especially when it comes to water damage in people's homes, and the fact that we couldn't go to some survey sites during the COVID. We had to do that with video conferencing, and it's now only growing. Now the insurance market is more interested in reducing assessment cost with video conferencing because you don't need travel. It's a good criterion, but maybe not the most relevant. We need to look at the observations we need to make on the spot. If it's a low amount, it's not hard to it's hard to put video conferencing into place, but the opposite is more relevant. Your goals for 2025, for agents, we need to communicate better and more to shine a spotlight on what the agents do. We're not extra intermediates, so we need to prove our added value, raise our profile, maybe unify the network at the European level, because we've got partners also working on that, as we are, a bit differently, but based on mandates. Being involved in market thinking, we are very happy to be part of that. Keep adjusting our tools, our teams to future changes, to innovate a little bit. We've been working quite a bit on issues of innovation, and we're also sort of nurseries. We welcome young trainees every year for the market, so we want to keep that up as well.
Les projets du CESAM.
Pascal, what is in the pipeline for CESAM for 2025? So maybe if we could go to the next slide. Yes, it's up. So this is our current website. And I'm often told that it doesn't look like a website. So this is the current website, and this is what you'll find tomorrow. So this is a preview. Thank you. So this is the visualization of the modernization of CESAM, which needed it. So I'm going to focus on two tabs. The first one is talent. So we saw that there was a problem of a connection between academia and the professional world. And so we will set up a platform for resumes, for interns, for apprenticeship, or for young graduates so that they can upload their resume on the CESAM website. And we are going to make this platform available to hiring companies. And another tab is our library. So we'll have the authorization from France ASSUREURS to take all of the history of the provisions and all of the technical expertise that is no longer available on the France ASSUREURS website. So we would take this over under this tab called Library, so that market players can access this knowledge and technical expertise, which would be very useful, we think. Pierre? What projects do you have for 2025? Well, the two goals that you have for the next month is, first of all, to continue our negotiations with COMAT and France ASSUREURS for the evolution of provisions for health and cargo insurance. And our second goal, which is for the longer term, is to promote the implementation of an exchange platform between brokers and insurers, so that we can channel all of the data that we exchange with the rest of the market. And this way we will be able to improve our efficiency, but also legal safety of our exchanges. And we will be able to improve this for the damage payment part and for claims settlement. So this is so these are the two goals that we have, and we'll need a lot of contributions from brokers as well as insurers to train and to improve this community of exchange of information. Because we need to be really at the crossroads between the needs of the insured and the offer from insurers. And what about you, Mathieu? Well, we are all insurers in a way. So maybe 4 goals. First of all, ensuring the sustainability of our profession. So we need to find the right balance between the insured, insurers, intermediaries. So I wish for this business to be as sustainable as possible. Then digitization. This is a reality. We saw some concrete examples. And now we need to see how we can use this in order to improve our productivity and be even more competitive. Our third goal will be decarbonization. We've already talked about it. We need to be able to support companies in their decarbonization efforts with the right transparency. And this should be our reality as well as insurers. And fourthly, HR might be more negative than what was mentioned before. Because we find it difficult on a very competitive market. We find it difficult to attract and retain talent. So I invite you all to attract talent in the transport industry, because it's a very interesting field to work in. So in terms of HR, we need to be able to hire more. So we're now reaching the end of 48 hours of discussions and exchanges on many different topics. I think that we covered many subjects. I learned a lot, and I'm sure that we all did. So if you were to summarize this two-day conference in one sentence, what would you say? Well, I would say faster, higher, stronger, the Olympics motto, and being together as well. So I think that the Olympics motto quite applies to us. Higher, more growth, stronger, because I think that our resilient market can be more competitive. And to be stronger, we need to be together. Pierre, what is your conclusion after this PariMat 2024? Well, I would go back to the economists' interventions who do not have a very positive forecast. However, we are lucky to be involved in an international market in which the French market has a very specific place. And so collectively, we need to seize this opportunity in a spirit of conquest. So we need to make sure that we can develop the outreach of the French market everywhere in the world where we can get more customers. And I know that this is Pascal's ambition. Jean-Christophe, sorry. Jean-Christophe, any concluding words? Well, it was another fabulous edition, over 900 people from all over the world. I'm very proud to have been able to welcome so many experts from the whole world. So it's really a heavenly conference, and for 2 days we focus on communication and exchanges. We learn about our respective jobs, and so I thought it was really an excellent edition. Antoine, so I will just say I can't wait for next year, and Pascal, and this. Will be the conclusion of this conference. And I'm pleased to hear that from Mathieu and Pierre. We are stronger when we work together. We can have diverging interests, but in any case, we need to work together. This market can only work if all players collaborate. And this is what's happening because this is what we do through training and through information sharing. And I see meetings between adjusters, brokers, insurers, agents, and we discuss topics that we all share, and we can see that we are all stronger together. And I have to say that I'm quite proud of this year's PariMat, and I'm quite emotional now because I think that it was really an outstanding edition, and I would like to thank you because it's thanks to you that it was such a success. So we'll meet again on the 24th and 25th of June 2025. Thank you very much.